Representatives rejects the Justice Committee's decision to dismiss the impeachment complaint against COMELEC Chairman Andy Bautista. Our Joyce Ilas tells us what happened.
The vote shows that the resolution is overridden.
137 lawmakers rejected the House resolution dismissing the impeachment complaint against Commission on Elections Chairman Andy Bautista. This effectively impeached Bautista as well. Only 75 lawmakers supported the Justice Committee's recommendation, while 2 abstained from voting. Under House impeachment rules, when the Committee on Justice dismisses a complaint, it shall submit to the plenary a resolution on its decision. The plenary will then vote on the resolution. A vote of at least 1/3 of all House members, in this case 98 members, is necessary to override the resolution. If at least 98 voted against the resolution, the respondent, in this case Bautista, is effectively impeached. And the Justice Committee shall prepare the articles of impeachment for submission to the Senate, which would sit as impeachment court. No less than House Speaker Pantaleon Alvarez voted against the committee report.
I believe that the charges against the chairman of the Commission on Elections, Chairman Bautista, are very serious.
On Wednesday morning, Bautista announced he is resigning in December. But endorsers of the complaint believe this was a bluff.
Don't mess with us, congressmen and women. Pag meron ka sasabihin, gawin mo. The 137 congressmen and women saw through the game that he was playing.
He would have bought himself a year free of impeachment kung inaprubahan ng committee report, and therefore, he could decide to stay for a full year, no? In time to sign all contracts for 2019.
Bautista can face impeachment proceedings as he is still in office. If Bautista quits before the Senate trial, this will make his impeachment case moot and academic. Joyce Ilas, CNN Philippines.
Now we're hearing from the man himself. COMELEC Chairman Andy Bautista takes to social media to respond to the House vote. Bautista posted a statement on Twitter saying it's unfortunate that the House Justice Committee decision was overturned. He says he acknowledges that lawmakers are entitled to their opinion. He adds, while it may be an unnecessary move since he offered to resign effective by year-end, he says he will abide by the Constitution and the rules on impeachment. This morning, Bautista announced before COMELEC employees he is stepping down by December, prioritizing his family over his work.
Matagal ko na ring pinagnilayan at pinagdadasal nga kung anong tamang gawin, no? Dahil sa aking sitwasyon na merong issue sa professional, meron din issue sa personal, no? At sa aking palagay, dapat talaga ang pagtuunan ko ng mas maraming pansin at panahon ay ang aking pamilya.
Bautista says this is the perfect time to leave after barangay and sangguniang kabataan elections were moved to May next year.
Kumbaga yung workload ngayon, mas magaan. Nagbigay din ako ng palugit na panahon para mabigyan ang ating Pangulo ng pagkakataong makapili ng papalit sa akin at sana rin magkaroon ng isang seamless and orderly transition.
Bautista's decision came 2 months after a financial feud made public by his estranged wife generated controversy. We're also getting reactions from COMELEC Commissioner Rowena Guanzon on Bautista's resignation.
I think it's a good move on his part. And it's good that priority niya yung sabi niya, yung mga anak niya. And but I just want to emphasize na wala naman kaming nakuhang resignation letter sa NBank. Anything can happen before December 21. He can change his mind, he can resign earlier.
House Justice Committee Chair Ray Umali says he expected reactions to Bautista's offer to resign by year-end. Speaking to CNN Philippines, Umali adds the vote on Bautista's impeachment was democracy at work.
I was so elated that he announced his resignation, but when I realized that it was effective end of the year, then that was a different story, and so expected some reactions from the members of the House of Representatives. But then when I heard that the Speaker himself did not like it and will vote against the committee report, then I told myself that, this is democracy at work.
Senate President Coco Pimentel also weighs in on the issue. He says if an official resigns, there's no point to remove him from office.
The purpose of impeachment is to separate from government service a high-ranking government official. If that official is already separated from service, there is no more point in proceeding with impeachment, whether in the trial or whether in the impeachment process at the House.
Other senators react to Bautista's announcement. Majority Leader Tito Soto says the COMELEC chief may still change his mind, but for Minority Leader Frank Drilon, it was the right move.
Hindi ako naniniwala. Ang reading ko nung sinabing sulat is my decision to resign by the end of the year. Therefore, hindi pa siya nagre-resign. Di ba? Pwedeng magbago yun dahil kung may decision to resign, kung after Christmas, nagbago isip.
I think that was the right move. Anyway, he's no longer facing an impeachment complaint, and therefore it cannot be said that he's avoiding impeachment. It is the best thing that he can do so that, he can take care of his problems after he has quit the office, and therefore no one can say that he is using the powers of his office to influence the outcome of the case.
Batid daw na Pangulo na kabilang Southeast Asia sa posibleng unang atakihin ng North Korea. Maging ang China raw nag-aalala sa galaw ng North Korea.
China, to be sure, is also worried because any fallout is just a neighbor of China. And any destruction using nuclear bombs, nuclear arms would destroy Southeast Asia immediately. And the Philippines is no exception.
Aminado ang Pangulo, malaki ang gagampaang papel ng China para pigilan ang Pyongyang. Pinakamalaking trading partner kasi ng North Korea, ang Beijing.
China appears to be the only monkey wrench in the violent plans of Kimon, I can't even pronounce stupid name. You have to keep watch over him.
President Duterte orders the Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency to lead the government's war on drugs. A memorandum released today states that PDEA will be the sole agency that will conduct all anti-drug operations. It addressed the National Bureau of Investigation, the National Police, Armed Forces, the Customs Bureau, the Postal Police, and all other concerned agencies. The order also stated that all information received on the drug war will be, quote, relayed, delivered, or brought to the attention of the PDEA for its appropriate action. Now, a legal challenge to the administration's drug war. A lawyers group files a petition with the Supreme Court seeking to stop the anti-drug campaign. The Free Legal Assistance Group, or FLAG, believes the campaign outlined in a police memorandum circular is unconstitutional. FLAG is raising 4 issues. First, it authorizes the police to kill drug suspects in the guise of, quote, neutralizing or negating them. Second, it replaces the police function of evidence gathering with compiling lists of drug suspects. Third, the house-to-house visits are not meant to persuade drug offenders to stop their illegal activities, but rather to kill those who refuse. And fourth, it's based on a mere verbal campaign promise by then-candidate Rodrigo Duterte to get rid of illegal drugs within the first 6 months of his term.
Under the revised administrative code, the President has what we lawyers call ordinance power. Under the revised administrative code, that power can only be exercised by written instructions. Until today, President Rodrigo Duterte has not given any written instructions to implement a war on drugs. In a text message, the police say they welcome the court case.
In other news, the parents of hazing victim Acho Castillo speak with CNN Philippines. Acho's father, Horacio Castillo Jr., said they want the anti-hazing law amended to stop these senseless killings. Acho's mother asks for prayers for her son. She also shares how much the family misses Acho.
I usually spend time in his room, and then finding myself fall asleep in his bed, and then wake up again, and then start crying, start missing him, and then it's basically that's how.
I would wake up around 2 in the morning, and Minnie's not there, so.
Because you're in Acho's room.
She's at Acho's room. And I would find her with a lighted candle on the side and a picture of Acho. You know, every day we still hope that he would come home.
I ask everybody to pray for him, light a candle for him, para he can see the light. Because as much as you want him to move on, I want him to be happy. I want him to move on.
This senseless killing should stop. So I think they should really amend the anti-hazing law. Put some more teeth in it.
Yesterday, another main suspect, Ralph Tranguilla, returned to the country from the U.S. His lawyer says the Aegis Juris Fraternity member is willing to cooperate with authorities. The Justice Department is also offering Tranguilla protection in case he turns state witness. Meanwhile, the Senate files a resolution authorizing the chairman of the Committees on Public Order and Justice to make public the testimony of hazing suspect John Paul Solano given at an executive session on the death of Acho Castillo. Traffic managers are finding ways to decongest Metro Manila, especially since the holidays are just around the corner. But some of their ideas are getting mixed reactions from motorists. Our Makoy Popioco has more.
Fernan Fernandez is driving alone in his car. Driving solo has always been his setup. That is why, when he heard about the MMDA's plan to ban cars with only its driver aboard from plying EDSA, Fernan was irked.
Well, carpooling is a good idea, but to restrict people who can only travel alone, that's really stupid. Are they going to pay for my car? If they want to buy my car, yeah.
MMDA data show 78% of the cars that ply EDSA has no other passenger except for its driver. To address this, the agency hopes to encourage carpooling among the public. Vehicles with 3 or more people in it will be exempted from the number coding scheme, while those carrying only 2 people will still be covered by the old coding scheme. Motorists have mixed reactions on the proposed policy.
Private lang naman ang single na sasakyan Hindi po dapat ganon.
Para yung mga mabawas-bawasan rin yung mga sasakyan para kung mag-isa lang, isa-isang sasakyan, di ba marami masyadong
Transport expert Dr. Primitivo Cal of the UP Planning and Development Research Foundation says he supports the move to ban solo drivers and encourage carpooling. However, he says the government should offer transport alternatives to motorists that would be affected.
Ikaw, kung car users ka, pinipwersa ka, and yet wala kang alternative, di ba magagalit ka?
Commuter safety and protection advocate Attorney Ariel Inton says he has lobbied for carpooling. He suggests the MMDA should require a special permit for carpoolers.
A colorum operator, once apprehended, can reason out that we are not engaged in colorum, we are engaged in carpooling.
The MMDA also considers implementing a 2-day coding scheme. Dr. Cal thinks the move could worsen traffic in Metro Manila.
I've done research on the effectivity of number coding, and I've found out that it just worsened the situation because many car users bought an extra car to address the number coding scheme.
This was affirmed by most motorists we talked to on the roads.
Kailangan pag 2 araw na yung coding mo sa isang linggo, meron kang 2 sasakyan. O kaya 3.
Dr. Cal says the volume of private cars on EDSA can only be effectively reduced if the public mass transport system is fixed. Makoy Popioco, CNN Philippines.
Officials admit they have yet to come up with a master plan for Marawi City, even as the military assures the war is nearing its end. George Cahilas tells us how the government intends to bring back the beauty and vibrance of the war-ravaged city.
The local government of Lanao del Sur and the military are already preparing for the end of the war in Marawi City. In a meeting on Thursday, concerned parties are looking into concerns and studying possible solutions even before the smoke clears in battle zones.
Ang pinakamalaking ini-expect natin yung mga kababayan nating mga mananaw kung kailan sila pababalikin. Hindi agad-agad natin pwedeng kailangan pa mag-usap ang AFP, then ang LGU ng province and Marawi City kung kailan safe.
Armed Forces Western Mindanao Command Chief Carlito Galvez says the fighting is now confined to an area of just 3 hectares, and he's confident that they will be able to finish the war by the middle of this month. But another round of clearing operations needs to be carried out to ensure the safety of the area.
After the firing stops, magkakaroon po kami tinatawag namin second clearing. Kasi hindi natin alam, baka may mga stragglers pa na nagtatago doon sa mga imburnal, mga safety tanks, at saka doon sa mga tinatawag natin mga man-made tunnels.
Their operations are bogged down by the presence of 101 non-combatants in the war zone, 36 of them children who are either hostages or dependents of mountain fires. Retrieval of bodies in the war zone continues with 24 bodies of male combatants discovered on Tuesday.
Ito po talaga, kalaban po ito. Yung nakikita natin, yung natira po ng airstrike natin is the first defense doon po sa area ng White Moss. Puro lalaki at meron po tayo na-identified na mga foreign terrorists na nakita natin.
The rehabilitation of Marawi City is another issue that must be resolved as the offensive nears its end. The military says they are mulling 3 options: rebuild the old Marawi, build a new downtown Marawi in another area of the city, and transfer vital government installations to other areas and rebuild private properties in their former locations.
Mas gustuin pa namin na yung old, but gagandaan lang natin yung Kasi problema nga natin kung paano natin ililipat ang New Marawi sa ibang lugar sa Marawi City.
Officials say that the master plan for Marawi will have to undergo layers of consultations with stakeholders and experts before it is finalized. From Marawi City, George Cahilas, CNN Philippines.
Filipino netizens are abuzz over a government official's resignation and an international celebration. Our Mencho Macapagal tells us more in tonight's Connect.
Commission on Elections Chair Andres Bautista is stepping down. That's in the wake of controversy over a feud with his estranged wife. In the resignation letter he filed in Malacanang today, Bautista steps down from the post by the end of the year. Now here's what some of you think. Loli Cheche on Facebook says it's the right decision. But for J. Oliver Ignacio, quote, it's about time and spill the beans, unquote. The integrity and credibility of the 2016 elections was questioned after the narrow margin by which Leni Robredo won over Bongbong Marcos for the vice presidency. Chia Santiago points out the COMELEC lost a man of integrity. Now also trending on Twitter Philippines is the hashtag Day of the Girl, getting over 21,000 tweets. That's to celebrate the International Day of the Girl, an annual event to highlight and address the needs and challenges girls face while promoting their empowerment and human rights. Words of encouragement lit up the micro-blogging site, like this one, who says, quote, run like a girl, throw like a girl, lead like a girl. Another tweet reads, quote, girls, you can be anything you want to be, and some more. For more on these stories, you can visit our website at cnnphilippines.com and follow us on social media at CNN Philippines. We'd love to hear from you. I'm Mencho Macapagal.
In entertainment, internet star Xander Ford says his cosmetic surgery was a dream come true. In an interview with CNN Philippines, he says despite his transformation, the bullying he suffered as a child hasn't stopped. Xander points out his critics are now targeting his emotions instead of his looks. Xander has a message to his bashers.
Sa mga bashers ko, thank you dahil sa inyo, mas ginalingan ko pa at mas lalo pa akong pumogi.
Yan. Paano pa pogi face mo? Sige nga.
Ayan, thank you din sa inyo dahil sa inyo natupad ko na yung pangarap ko. At lagi nyo lang ito tatandaan na ang taong binababa ay inaangat ng Panginoon.
With that, the 19-year-old shares he's writing a book about cyberbullying. Xander says fans should watch out for it.